Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thanks for coming out. August 26th, nice time of the year, right? A little quieter, maybe? No? No. Seems like it's been busy August. Okay, I'm going to read the Statement of Compliance with the Sunshine Law. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, and adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as required by law. Specifically, the annual notice was emailed to the West Essex Tribune and the Star-Ledger on January 2nd, 2024, and the 48-hour notice was emailed to the West Essex Tribune and the Star-Ledger on July 22nd, 2024. The agenda and resolutions for the meeting are available on www.livingstonnj.org. Certain portions of this meeting may be closed to the public for the purpose of personnel and/or other matters, as outlined in the Sunshine Law. Decisions made and/or discussed in closed session will be known to the public at a later time. Notice to members of the governing body and township staff: any use of electronic devices during this meeting shall be used solely for the purposes of township business, and any communications are subject to the Open Public Records Act. To the extent possible, this evening's Township of Livingston Council meeting will be live streamed via Facebook at www.facebook.com/Livingston Township NJ. Questions or comments will also be accepted by emailing livcomments@livingstonNJ.org by 4 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Each speaker should follow the rules of order in Livingston Code Section 2-15. Carolyn, roll call.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Baptani.
Here.
Councilmember Vieira.
Present.
Councilmember Klein is absent tonight. Deputy Mayor Meinhardt.
Here.
Mayor Anthony.
Here. If we could all stand for a moment of silence and then the Pledge of Allegiance. Is Eileen Fishman here, Essex County updates? Seeing none, okay. Well, now,
Mayor, can I just make?
yeah, sure, of course.
I just want to apologize to everybody in the audience and to my fellow council people up here, in case I have to stand up once or twice during the meeting. I unfortunately have a terrible back, and I cannot sit very long. So I apologize to those if you see me get up and just stand up for a second.
It's not anything I said then? No? Okay, all right. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Okay, so we have a few on the proclamations and presentations. A few I'm mostly reading from a plaque, so we'll go a little out of order to make sure we get to the ones that, thank you so much for coming in tonight. So the first one that we have people here for is number 3, Township of Livingston AARP Age-Friendly Community Designation. This is quite an honor. Jen, you want to come up now? And sure. We have both these microphones work over. Yep, that's great. Yeah. We have Corin and Natanya is here, and the one and only Jen Walker is here as well. Yeah. Come on up. You want to?
Is it on? Is it on? It's on? Can I give a shout out to our amazing sound guy? All right. So do you want me to give a little bit of background? A little bit of background on this program? Yes. All right, so in 2000, I'm Jen Walker, by the way, I'm the Recreation Director and Director of Senior Services for the Township. And in 2019, which if you remember was the beginning of a horrible, horrible time.
19 was still good.
Well, 19 was still good, but, you know, the beginning, it was like, all right, but the beginning of a horrible, horrible time. We had done a lot of work with the Grata Foundation, and which does work for our active older adults and our seniors in the state of New Jersey. And as a part of that process, we were awarded and given the designation from AARP on the state level as an age-friendly community. There was a lot, I'm not going to bore you with the details, but a ton of work went into that. And as a part of that, there was a strategic plan that was put together. The council had approved it through ordinance, and the team spent the next 5 years working on that strategic plan. Corinne spearheaded that. First, it was Liliana Branquino who got the first designation, and then Corinne and Natanya have spearheaded it over the past 5 years. And probably the biggest achievement of that is that it really wasn't a 5-year. They gave us 5 years, but really they accomplished 5 years in about 2.5 because of COVID and all of that. So they did an absolutely amazing job. They continue to do amazing work with our active older adults at the community center. If you haven't been over to our community center, we have programs from 8 in the morning till 10 at night for our seniors, and they're running 7 days a week, and we are packed every day of the week. But Corinne leads up the program, and Natanya assisted her with this, so unbelievably proud of them. And we were awarded the designation for an additional 5 years because of the work they did, so.
Congratulations.
Yes, I just want, would you want to read it? Go for it.
This is from AARP. We did not make this. This is yours. Township of Livingston, New Jersey, a member in the good standing of the AARP network of age-friendly states and communities, has successfully completed a cycle of improvement and is recognized for its age-friendly leadership, achievements, and continuing commitment toward being a livable community for people of all ages, 2024. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. And I just want to thank the council for all of your support. This wouldn't have been easy without all the support from you, from Barry, Adam, Russ, and the whole township. So thank you.
Thank you. Chet, have I seen you've given presentations at the League of Municipalities on age friendly? Yes, and I was taking pictures. Yes, we did. You remember? I sent you those pictures. Yeah, it's tremendous.
That was 3 years ago?
That was after 19.
First designation,
Yes.
Yeah, we presented the League of Municipalities for the Township of Livingston.
So my point is the League of Municipalities, what, 565 towns in New Jersey? And you're educating public officials, other public employees on the great work that you all do. Thank you, Natanya. Thank you, Corinne. Corinne, let me just, we have one too, so we're going to give you a citation too. So yeah. This one just says, the mayor and the township council members are pleased to announce that Livingston has been renewed as an AARP age-friendly community for 5 more years, and proud that the Livingston community is being recognized for its age-friendly leadership, achievements, and continuing commitment toward being a livable community for people of all ages, thanks to the efforts of recreation and senior service employees Corinne Judge, Natanya Palais, and supervised by Director Jen Walker. So congratulations. All right, great. We do have someone here for Duchenne, which is World Duchenne Awareness Day, which is September 7th. It's coming up. We have our next meeting on September 9th, so we wanted to do this here today. And I wanted to let Councilman Bhuktani say a few words about this. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. This is really an important next step or a big step that the township has and the council has kindly agreed to do. It is a rare disease. It is a disease that has a lot of pain for the families, but also exemplifies the courage and brave character. It brings it out of the families. The beautiful part of this whole story, this entire story is, I got a call one day from a young school-age kid from town, and you're gonna see her very, very soon. That's Anushka Dhawan, and the Dhawan family. It's a family affair, and they were really looking through and trying to see what else, what is the next step, what is the next challenge, that we can try and help with. And they stumbled into, and I won't take any of her thunder sharing her story, but the moment she recognized that this is something that is rare and something can be very, we can help them, she just rolled up sleeves. And kudos to the parents as well, being amazingly supportive parents. So Anushka, you're right here, Mahashweta and Sanjeev. Excellent job there, and Mayor, that's the family. I just want to hand it back to you.
Thank you for all your work. Thank you. We're going to, if you want to stay seated for a second, I apologize because I didn't get to you. You are above on the list. I think we should read this whole proclamation so everyone learns as much about it as possible and as much awareness. So why don't we, there's about 8 lines here. We'll all take a line, two lines. So, Kate, you want to start us off? And
Sure. Thank you, Mayor.
yeah, do you have it? One sec. I'll go. Here. Okay.
All right, so this is going to be a proclamation, as the mayor said. It reads, whereas Duchenne muscular dystrophy, it's called Duchenne, the abbreviation is DMD, very famously known as DMD, or infamously, is the most common fatal genetic disorder diagnosed in childhood, affecting approximately 1 in every 5,000 live male births, it's specific to male births, each year. And whereas the Duchenne gene is found in the X chromosome, it primarily affects boys. However, it occurs across all races and cultures and.
Yes?
Yep.
Okay, whereas Duchenne results in progressive loss of strength and is caused by a mutation in the gene that encodes for, I can't read my own hand, dystrophin. Because dystrophin is absent, the muscle cells are easily damaged. The progressive muscle's weakness leads to serious medical problems, particularly issues relating to the heart, lung, and people with Duchenne typically live into their late 20s and, keep going? Where Duchenne can be passed from parent to child, but approximately 35% of cases occur because of a random spontaneous mutation. In other words, it can affect anyone. Although there are medical treatments that may help slow its progression, there is currently no cure for Duchenne. And
whereas because it is a rare disease, one of our greatest tools in the fight to end Duchenne is raising awareness. And whereas on September 7th, 2024, the 8th World Duchenne Awareness Day will take place. Duchenne organizations around the world will raise awareness for all people living with Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. And
whereas Livingston residents Anushka and her family have made it their mission to raise awareness of this debilitating disease. And in honor of their friend's son, Michael Tushenko, who was diagnosed 3 years ago and is now 6 years old, and Michael James Gaglioni, 28 years old, living with Duchenne, and on behalf and in support of all those affected by DMD, it is now my honor as Al Anthony and the council members of the Township of Livingston, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, do here proclaim September 7th, 2024 as World Duchenne Awareness Day. So, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Anushka, and this dear esteemed mayor, respected town council members, and my dear neighbors, thank you for gathering here today as we come together to mark an important occasion, the proclamation of Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy Awareness Day in our town. Duchenne muscular dystrophy, or DMD, is a rare and devastating genetic disorder that affects thousands of young boys and their families across the world. It is a condition that slowly robs them of their muscle strength, making everyday activities increasingly challenging and eventually impossible. Despite the advances in medicine and research, DMD remains without a cure, being 100% fatal. As a community, it is our responsibility to support those who are living with DMD, to stand with their community, and to raise awareness, which will eventually help us find a cure. By proclaiming DMD Awareness Day, we are doing more than just recognizing a cause. We are committing to action, education, and advocacy. I, Anushka Dhawan, have seen the detrimental cruelty that this disease brings upon patients and their families, and it pains me that there is no cure yet. I hope to do my part on this issue by making a change in my local community. My end goal is to hopefully get newborn screening in the New Jersey state one day, which would help families get the care they deserve early on. Why is this important? Because awareness leads to more education, and that eventually leads to change. When we raise awareness about DMD, we help to shine a light on the struggles that these boys and their families face every day. We foster early diagnosis by educating individuals, which can lead to better management of the condition. We push for more research, which brings us closer to new treatments, technology, and hopefully one day a cure. And we foster a sense of solidarity, showing those affected by DMD that they are not alone. They have a community behind them, which can have a huge impact on their mental health as well. This proclamation is a symbol of our town's commitment to making a difference. It is a statement that we care, that we are paying attention, and that we will continue to support the fight against Duchenne muscular dystrophy. But more so, it is a call for action, for all of us to educate ourselves, to advocate for those affected, and to contribute in whatever ways we can to the cause. Let this day remind us of the importance of compassion, of community, and of the impact we can have when we come together for a common purpose. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of those with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and together we can move closer to a future where DMD is no longer a threat to our loved ones. Thank you, all the council.
I want to take this moment to honor the true heroes of this battle, the moms and dads, that embody strength, courage, and unconditional love. We have Limka Zaveri with us today. She lives in Watching, and her son is 12 years old, who is affected with Duchenne. And to many moms, my friend Ayuna, who is watching us live on Facebook, as well as Suzanne, who could not be with us today. I've written a short poem. In every moment, they stand strong. In every morning's early light, a battle starts, though out of sight. Moms and dads with hearts so wide, facing Duchenne, they will not hide. From lifting out of bed each day to helping dress in every way, they tie the shoes, they brush the hair with tender hands and endless care. Every step is watched with pride. Yet fear and hope walk side by side. They brace for falls for every slip, a constant guard they dare not skip. Meals are shared with gentle hands, feeding strength their daily plans. Yet worry fills each simple task of what the future dares to ask. Nighttime comes, but rest is rare. With every breath, they are always there, turning, shifting through the night. In every moment, they fight the fight. Today we honor, we embrace the ones who meet each day with grace, like Limka and many others. For in their arms, through trails long, their love, their light, it carries on.
Hi, my name is Limka Javeri. I'm from Watchung. My son is 12 and a half now. He was diagnosed at 3 and a half. So I just want to say thank you so much because I am a big advocate for Duchenne muscular dystrophy. I go to Congress, I do state funding, I advocate, I do awareness funding research. It's really nice to see the supportive community to raise awareness. It is a rare disease, and my son is defying the odds. You usually lose the ability to walk between 8 and 10. You lose the ability to use your upper body by the time you're a teenager, and usually it is a fatal disease because your heart and lungs are affected. My son is 12 and a half, walking well. He is independent. He's been in 3 different clinical trials, and he actually is a pioneer and a warrior of the first gene therapy for Duchenne muscular dystrophy that was approved by the FDA in June of 2023. So he is paving the way for the next generation, so when one family gets diagnosed, they won't say to the family member, just go home and love your son. That's what we were told. Now families have options. They have 8 approved therapies for Duchenne muscular dystrophy now. No cure yet, but they do have treatments. So there is a lot of hope, and it's families like them that really give us that support. So I just want to thank the Council of Livingston, the mayor, all of you guys for being that support for us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you coming in and sharing your story and everything you're doing to make a difference in the world. That's amazing. Thank you so much. And we do have what we read, the proclamation here. And if you'd like, we could try to build awareness. We have the local paper here and anything we could do. So thank. Highly appreciated. That, awareness is the only tool that we have. Yeah, that's amazing. It's a great what's going on right now. Thank you. All right. So here, you want to get a picture here? All right. We have the president of AARP. of New Jersey AARP. Donato, come on up, yeah. Oh, no, that's all right. Come on up. I want you, yeah, yeah. Good. How are you? Nice.
I'm
Thanks.
well, thank you.
Thanks, yes, we went a little out of order.
I apologize for being late, but South Livingston Avenue was completely closed and the detours were not clear. But first of all, we wanted to commend Livingston for completing their network age-friendly state and community plan. It's a 5-year cycle, and by submitting their progress report, which highlights the extent of the age-friendly work that they have completed, by being part of this network, Livingston has made a commitment to identifying and addressing the needs of its aging population, creating a more inclusive and accessible community. And what's important about that, I was a municipal manager for 40 years. I understand the changing demographics. And by the year 2030, there will be more people over the age of 65 than under the age of 18. And we all want to be able to age in place and live comfortably. So the fact that Livingston has addressed this issue is important, and we want to thank you very, very much.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jen, you want to get another photo with Donato? A do-over? Yeah, you want to come down again? That's all right. Come on down. Yeah. I said that back there. Yeah. Mr. Alper brings up a good point. We've had, we gave out our 5th and coming up our 6th centenarian. I know octogenarian. Centenarian, 100-year-old?
100-year-old.
We have so many in town. It's Jen and Corinne and Natalia.
Population in this country on a percentage basis.
Yeah. Yeah,
They live longer and
yes.
healthier, yep.
So that's probably a testament to this crew right here. All right, let's get, over here. Come on in.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Pleasure. Glad to do it. Take care. You're welcome. Oh, thank you.
Okay. Now we have a very special person in town that in the same type of, like we've done this before. We had Naisha, she was going and representing future business leaders. She went down to Orlando. We had her in about a couple months ago. We have another terrific, we have a town resident doing something outside the town, and we wanted to bring it to everyone's attention because it's such a marvelous concert that's going to happen, and I want to read a tiny bit about this. So this is, let's see, it's Young Jin, a pipa soloist. And I want to mention that the Livingston Chinese Association, LCA, in collaboration with the Chinese Musicians Association of North America, that's CMA-NA, is hosting a special concert to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival on September 15th at Drew University, starting at 3 p.m. Yang Jin a Livingston resident and mother of 3 children in our public schools, is the founder and president of CMA-NA and a leading pipa soloist. The concert will feature an impressive lineup of musicians, including a renowned composer and professor at Brown University, a celebrated Iru master. Did I say that right? Iru master who has performed with Yo-Yo Ma and President Biden, the first violinist of the Cleveland Orchestra and a Grammy-winning performer, an award-winning pipa virtuoso and educator from the University of Delaware, a globally acclaimed guzheng virtuoso, a distinguished pianist and educator from the Manhattan School of Music, a decorated mezzo-soprano known for both Chinese and Western opera, a pioneering percussionist and top Chinese youth in America, and a highly respected jazz pianist and composer from Princeton University. Youngjin has made a significant impact on our community through her leadership of the Flying Strings Youth Ensemble, which performs at libraries, senior homes, multicultural school celebrations, and AAPI Livingston events. Music has a unique power to unite people, and this concert represents a wonderful opportunity to bring our community together. It will showcase, right now we're showcasing the township's support for our local artists and highlight how music connects and strengthens our community. We're also at this concert, I believe the cultural attaché from Chinese Consulate General in New York will be there. Mayors from Summit and Milburn will be there. I know we've been invited as a council. Thank you so much. And this underscores the significance of the event and the potential for meaningful community engagement. So with that, I'd like to bring up Youngjin, and you want to talk a little bit about the concert? Sure.
Good evening. My name is Yang Jing from 197 North Livingston Avenue. Yeah, I want to take a moment to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Mayor Anthony, the city, the town council, the Livingston Chinese Association, and all the wonderful residents of Livingston. As the president and founder of the Chinese Musician Association of North America, a nonprofit organization, our mission is to connect musicians and audiences worldwide, fostering cross-cultural collaboration through music. Since our family moved from Pittsburgh in 2022, the support we received from the Livingston community has been incredible. As the mayor mentioned, actively participated in many community activities. And our students like Flying String Youth Ensemble, which has enriched our town with performances at libraries, senior homes, like Mayor mentioned. Yeah, we're also very grateful to special thanks to Temple Beth Shalom. We have a Lunar New Year celebration there, and our students have a summer camp there, so they're so nice. Okay, this program, we're celebrating the Mid-Autumn Festival and the establishment of the Chinese Musicians Association of North America. And we have 3 concerts, 2 in Princeton, the September 14th, and 1 in Drew University on Sunday, September 15th, 3 p.m. Okay, so well, very welcome. Everybody can come to enjoy our music. So the event will feature many highly esteemed musicians, include the youngest percussionist featured on Broadway, and among others. Their artists will be traveled from across the country, makes this event truly exceptional. I have left some flyers at the back. Please feel free to take one and scan the QR code for more information. I sincerely hope to see you there. And once again, thank you for all your support. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. You, young kid, you want to get it? Yeah, let's go get a, yeah. Yeah. Resident is doing here. That's great. Always great to hear what Livingston residents are doing, when they're, especially when there's such of breadth of, you have a lot of people coming there, and it's going to be great. And keep up the great work. Thanks. All right, we are down to, we have National Preparedness Month, preparedness. Okay, you want to help me read this, guys? Kate, you want to take the first? Ed, take the second? Michael, take the third? Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's National Preparedness Month, and we're just going to read this proclamation. There's no one to accept it here, but it is this month, and we want everyone to be prepared. You'll hear a little bit more about it in 2 seconds about what it's about.
No,
So,
absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. The National Preparedness Month, whereas emergency preparedness is the shared responsibility of the entire nation and every community, every business, and every individual has a role to play in preparing for emergencies. And
Whereas National Preparedness Month provides an opportunity to highlight the importance of emergency preparedness
tough
and
one.
and encourages all Americans to take steps to be better prepared for emergencies in their homes, businesses, schools, and
Whereas federal, state, and local officials and the private sector are working to deter, prevent, and respond to all types of emergencies. These activities, along with active American communities, contribute to a level of national preparedness that is critical to securing our homeland. And
whereas National Preparedness Month is a nationwide coordinated effort that allows Americans to learn more about ways to prepare for all types of emergencies, from natural disasters to potential terrorist attacks. And whereas the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and the American Red Cross urge all Americans to take time during the month of September to get an emergency supply kit, make a family emergency plan, be informed about different threats and their appropriate responses, and get involved in preparing their community. Now, therefore, I, Alfred M. Anthony, Mayor of Township of Livingston, hereby proclaim September 2024 to be National Preparedness Month for the Township of Livingston. I call upon the people of Livingston to recognize the importance of preparing for potential emergencies and to observe this month with appropriate events, activities, and preparedness programs. Information on emergency preparedness is available on the Township website, www.livingstonNJ.org. So those are good words for all of us to live by. Thanks for everyone who just gets ready for an emergency or anything, even if the lights go out, a generator, whatever, just to be ready for those type of events. Okay, so now we are up to the approval of the minutes.
So I'd like to make a motion to approval of the minutes for the July 29, 2024 regular conference meeting minutes, as well as the July 29, 2024 closed session meeting minutes.
I'll second it.
Second. Any opposed? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, guys. All right, we are now up to ordinance 1724. to exceed the municipal budget appropriation. Barry, do we do this, or do you want to do you do the PowerPoint now, or what?
Well, you can do this because this is something we have to do prior to the introduction or the adoption of the budget
Okay.
in the public hearing. But you recall, we introduced
We
this
did.
an ordinance
So
that we
this is
do.
second reading?
This is second reading. It's an
Okay.
ordinance we do each year. The state authorizes us by ordinance to exceed the municipal
remember that.
appropriations cap. We're not exceeding the cap, but it builds you a cushion in the event, sort of a rainy day fund in future years if you need it.
So this would just be to open the hearing on the second reading here?
Correct.
Yes,
Okay.
Mayor.
Is there a motion on that?
Motion to open the hearing?
I'll second it.
Okay. Is there a roll call for that?
No, Mayor. All in
No?
favor?
Okay. Any opposed? No? Okay. So now the hearing on the second reading of 17-2024 is now open.
I'd like to make a motion to close.
Second.
Any opposed? No? All in favor? Aye, okay.
Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Okay. Roll call.
Councilmember Bontani?
Yes.
Viera?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Meinhardt?
Yes.
Mayor Anthony?
Yes. Okay, Carol, we're up to Resolution 24-196A.
Yes, Mayor, this is the time for the public hearing on the municipal budget for 2024, as approved on July 29th, 2024 by Mayor and Township Council. The budget was advertised as required on August 8th, 2024, together with notice of hearing for this time. Printed copies have been made available to the public during the past week.
Mayor, I have a resolution, 24-196A, regarding the reading of the budget by title only, and make a motion to move the resolution for adoption.
I second that motion.
Councilmember Bontani?
Yes.
Viera?
Yes.
Klein is absent. Deputy Mayor Meinhardt?
Yes.
Mayor Anthony?
Yes. Before opening this hearing, I wish to outline the procedure. Each person desiring to be heard will rise and give his or her name, and if they are a resident, their address before speaking. I will recognize one speaker at a time. Address all questions to the chair. Where necessary, they will be referred to individual members of the Township Council, municipal officials, or advisors. Questions must be confined solely to the municipal budget amendment before us. The introduced budget, school, or county matters are not proper subjects of this hearing and will not be discussed or answered here tonight.
I now make a motion to open the public hearing on the municipal budget for 2024.
I second the motion.
Okay.
Mayor, generally, this would be prior to, in case there's questions about the presentation, that I would make the presentation.
You want to do
right?
it now? Okay.
Sure.
Great.
So,
Thank you, Barry.
as we do every year, we just try and give the highlights and walk through some of the key points of the budget. And in advance of doing that, I do want to note there is a slight amendment to the budget, which was in the package, involved initially just reallocating certain amounts to certain places in the budget based on state review, and an increase in the pension contribution based on some retroactive payments for a police contract that had been settled. I would like to certainly recognize our CFO, Ann Cucci, not only for working with the state reviewer to work us through all those issues, and we got our approval today to move forward and adopt the budget, but more importantly, and for all of her hard work, not only with the budget, but year in, year out, in helping us get to the position that we're in fiscally, which I'm going to touch upon. So no further ado, the first slide we always bring up is just where does your tax dollar go? Everybody writes a tax check, they bring it in, they mail it wherever we collect it, but I think it's important for everyone to know that for every dollar we collect, 60.3% of it goes to the school, 18.9% goes to the county. We, the municipality, for our operations, receive 18.3%, 1.7% goes to the county, and it's just under 1% at 0.8% goes to what's called the reserve for uncollected taxes. I would note this, we'll put this whole PowerPoint on the website, just so you don't have to take pictures of every slide, but if you'd like to, you're certainly welcome to. But it will be on the website. So along those lines, I think it's important because people, I think they get a tax bill and they wonder, why is it so high, whatever issues they have. So Again, the school gets 60.3% of it. That is entirely based on the budget approved by the Board of Education and the mayor and council, and my staff and myself, we don't have any role in that. Similarly, the Essex County Board of Commissioners approves their budget and the county taxes, the 18.9%. Library taxes are established by state statute, which are based on a certain percentage of the overall assessed value. So that's a formula that represents 1.5% of the total. What I touched upon, the reserve for uncollected taxes, which is just under 1% of your bill, is also set by statute. There's a formula. It's mandatory. It covers the fact that while we collect the taxes and are obligated to pay the Board of Ed and the county 100% of their money, not everybody's going to pay, so there will be a shortfall. That's what the reserve is for. Again, nothing we have any control over. So at the end of the day, the town council, based on the budget presented, only approves and controls the municipal taxes, representing 18.3% of the total tax bill. So with that in mind, again, reiterate, the council only approves the municipal taxes and municipal tax rate. In 2023, and when I get to the next slide, you'll see I focused on 2023 because not all the 2024 rates were available from other towns, and I want to do a comparative analysis, just see how are we doing in terms of our budgeting, our efficiency, and what services we deliver for our taxpayers for what dollars they pay. So in Livingston last year, the average assessed home was $712,139. Our municipal tax rate, again, the only portion that the mayor and council have any control over, was 43.1 cents per $100 evaluation. So when you apply that to the average assessed home, the municipal taxes, again, only the municipal portion, not the county or the school, in Livingston were $3,070. And what I'll show on the next slide is that in 2023, our municipal tax rate was the second lowest of all 22 municipalities in Essex County, and the overall tax rate, including county and school, was the sixth lowest in the county. And what that means is if you had the same value of home, if you had a $712,000 home in all these other communities, every single one of them but one, you would pay higher municipal taxes. So that's what this chart shows, and I know there's a lot of data on there, so it's maybe a little bit hard to see, on the screens there. But what you'll see is North Caldwell Borough, and give them credit, shout out, they have slightly lower, they're 39.4 cents. But our municipal tax rate per $100 evaluation comes in second lowest in the county and a decent bit above everyone else. So you'll see on a $721,238 assessed home, if you go down that center column, whoops, I'm kind of new on this pointer. This column is if you had the same assessed value home in any of these communities, this is what your municipal taxes alone would be. And to the far right, then it does the math to say how much more you'd be paying on the same value house in any of these municipal taxes. And it was, quite frankly, kind of eye-opening when you look at it right up the street in Roseland, for example. If you had the same home, instead of paying $3,110 in municipal taxes, you'd be paying $4,486, so $1,300 more. You look at Montclair, you'd be paying $5,961 or $2,851 more. So I think it's something that we all collectively should be very proud of, and hopefully the residents will be happy about. And again, it's a credit to the mayor and council in the first instance and the direction they give and the importance they put upon delivering services and being efficient. And then on my end, it's a credit to the entire team, all the department heads, CFO, the entire finance department. Next question is, so where do we get our money from to fund all of our operations? And as you can see, still 62% is municipal taxes. We have surplus funds that we use and then replenish, that is 6.2%. And I'm not going to read the entire list, but there are library taxes is separate. It's separate by statute. We get roughly 5% in state aid. We've gotten some agreements with pilots in the community service fee from Barnabas Hospitals, a little under 4%. Our construction fees, permits and licenses, grants, interest on our taxes, et cetera. So that's where our money comes from, and I'll kind of tie into this later. how do we spend your money? This breaks down, and again, the chart will be on the website where people can probably read some of these small numbers better. But by far the largest expenditure at 30% of our overall budget is public safety, which is police and fire, emergency dispatch, aid to the first aid squad. Nearly a third of all our money goes to that. And I think what's critical to understand here is then the next one is 16% is capital projects. That's your road projects, buying equipment, cars, trucks, parks, preserving, buying land, doing things. Public Works, which, maintains all the properties, the buildings, plows the roads, maintains all the parks and all those things is another 12%. So just those three alone represent 58% or nearly 60% of the overall budget, and the rest is spread out there. But overall, I just think we do a very efficient job, and certainly I think most would agree that those first three items that are 60% are absolute non-negotiable, mandatory. The 2024 budget we continue, which is our same sort of mission and direction from the council, is maintain current levels of service and staffing levels, and if, wherever we can to improve services. The budget does budget for all our agreed union contracts. We did see some increased pension insurance and statutory costs, significant, which are pass-throughs from the state, the insurance company, et cetera. But this budget does accommodate for those. This budget also provides an additional $500,000 in capital improvement fund, which is a down payment, and that's largely because of the pending DPW garage project. The result is a municipal tax rate increase of 2.61%. On the average assessed home, that equates to $85.50 for the year, which is about $7 a month. In terms of what drove the budget, and we seem to see this every year, there were 6 items that really stood out that drove most of the increase. Our public works salary and wages, we settled a union contract with them. We had previously had a contract that was set some time ago, and the result was we became underpaying for the market, but it was a union contract. We were bound by it. With the increase in the statutory minimum wage, with the increase in inflation, we found ourselves shorthanded. We were not able to either find public works employees, laborers, et cetera, or retain them. So we did settle that contract that allowed us to return back to full staffing and hire a bunch of new employees, and we're back in business. Health department salary and wage went up by $130,000, but that was not really an increase in expenses, but we had the benefit of 3 or 4 years of having federal COVID money that helped offset our health department costs, but those have now since been exhausted, and we now have to go back to paying the full health department. So it's not really an increase per se, it's just an increase because we don't have those grants. Employee group health went up 7%, just under $300,000. Statutory expenses that I referred to before, including our pension, Social Security, and other items, went up 12% or $600,000. Capital improvement fund that I alluded to for the DPW garage principally, we budgeted an additional $500,000. And finally, the reserve for uncollected taxes, which I referred to earlier, went up pretty significantly, and that's a direct result. We transitioned off what was the previous practice was an accelerated tax sale. It had a couple of effects of one being somewhat draconian on taxpayers. You could be like a month behind in your taxes and go in a tax sale. And residents were not happy about it. It kind of artificially got us money sooner. I think it was done years ago, but we were successfully able to transition off of it. This appropriation went up, but it's offset by a new revenue of delinquent taxes, because if people don't pay, then we get them the next year, and we get interest, et cetera. So, and the significance is those 6 items alone account for $3.278 million of the overall increase. Those 6 items went up in aggregate 22%. The entire budget only went up $3.8 million. So everything else in the entire budget only went up 1.25% or $500,000. So it kind of demonstrates how certain things, some of which were, choices we made, which was to budget additional funding for the DPW, but the majority of which are things that are kind of outside our control, bills that we get from the state, et cetera. Fiscal condition, this is probably the slide I'm most proud of, and again, another shout out to not only Ann Cucci, our CFO, but our bond counsel, our financial advisors. We ended 2023, our surplus balance increased another $1.4 million, or almost 14% year over year. So at the end of 2022, in our fund balance, which is essentially our bank account, we had 10.2 million, and that grew up to 11.6 million, which is the highest fund balance. It's at least in the last 16 years. That's as far back as I went looking, and I wasn't anywhere close. The fund balance, and I'm very proud of this, and I think the whole team and the mayor and council should be proud. Our fund balance has more than doubled in the last 5 years. It was around 5 million in 2018, and it's gone up tenfold just in the last 10 years. We only had 1.1 million. And the importance of that is, one, you have the funding available, but equally important, it has a significant impact when we get rated by credit rating agencies, when we go to borrow money. And the rating that you get directly relates to the interest rate you get. The higher rated you are, the better interest rate you get, the less interest you pay. So I'm extremely proud, as we all should be, that our rating, in part because of this increased fund balance, but also in part of a number of all the efforts, our restructuring debt and some of the sort of proactive steps we've taken, now we saw our bond rating increase to AA+ with what's called a positive outlook. So we're one step away from being AAA rated, which would be, I think, a real feather in the cap for the entire community. And then lastly, and this is what I alluded to in the other slide, and I've included library taxes, the other slide, in terms of where does the money come from. Basically in the last 5 years, I got here in 2018, we used to property taxes accounted for 79% of our money to pay for our operations. And by, I think, working more efficiently, by developing alternative revenue sources, by getting buy-in from the department heads to see what they can do to increase revenues in their departments, other agreements, we've been able to reduce that to only 67% comes from property taxes, which every little bit helps, but that means now 12% of our budget that we used to get from taxpayers, we now get from other sources. Our capital budget, again, this year includes additional funding for the new DPW facility, and hence the increase in the down payment. It continues to cover all our standards of road projects, street projects, vehicles and equipment for public works, stormwater drainage, our computers, our networks. Water capital, everybody's aware of. We have had and continue to have significant expenditures for the PFAS water remediation projects that are ongoing, water main installation repairs, production well improvements. Sewer capital, we continue to fund and upgrade our plant to make it more efficient, as well as buying vehicles and equipment for both of the utilities. And then sort of in summary, on the water, sewer, and pool are what are called self-liquidating utilities. So they have separate budgets. They're not funded at all by tax dollars. Instead, they're funded by the fees that are collected either for your water bill, your sewer bill, or pool membership. These budgets all maintain the level of service in all utilities and fund operational upgrades. Capital funding for needed improvement has been done. It is important to point out, and we've pointed this out now for a year or two, these budgets we were able to get by in part because we had surplus funds in those utilities, but with the increased costs and particularly the increased debt service because of the PFAS and some of the capital repairs, we will be looking at reviewing our rates, and we'll have to make some adjustments in our rate. We'll try and do it in a way, I will say this, our rates continue to be on the low side of surrounding communities, but the sewer and pool they previously got the American Rescue Plan, which was COVID funding. Those are going away, or have largely gone away. So that's another reason. And again, the pool budget only operates Haynes again because Northland is not suitable. So that's it. And overall, I think just a good budget. Again, thank you to the mayor and council for all their support, direction, and all being on the same page of what our goals are, which are to provide outstanding services, create a great community to live in while doing so, and as efficiently as possible, and being fiscally responsible, generating our surplus balance, getting the good bond ratings, and again, a huge shout out to Ann Kuji, our CFO, and her whole team, as well as all professionals. So with that.
Thank you, Barry. All right. Barry, have you ever gotten applause after a budget? Excellent work, thank you. Are we up to member three?
No, we have a public hearing, Mayor.
Public hearing,
Public hearing's open, Mayor.
okay.
Public hearing on the budget.
I think you already opened it. Yeah, you
It's
already
open.
voted to open.
Yeah.
So you need a motion to close it.
Any questions on the budget, comments?
Motion to close.
No.
Motion to close?
All right.
I second that.
I think I go with this, right? Observing no further questions from the floor, I will entertain a motion to close the hearing.
Mayor, I move that the hearing be closed.
Nice. Second, did someone second it? Caton?
I second it.
Are you member one? Who's saying mayor?
Mayor, I offer a
There you
resolution
go.
to amend to amend the introduced 2024 budget of the Township of Livingston.
I second the motion.
I request that the clerk read the amended 2024 budget resolution.
Thank you, Mayor. This is Resolution 24-196B, resolution to amend the budget. Whereas the local municipal budget for the year 2024 was approved on the 18th day of July 2024, and whereas the public hearing on said budget had been held as advertised, and where it is desired to amend said approved budget, now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the Township of Livingston, County of Essex, the following amendments to the approved budget of 2024 be made. Summary of revenues, amount to be raised by taxes for support of municipal budget. A, local tax for municipal purposes, including reserve for uncollected taxes. It went from $38,219,805,028 to $38,332,933.29. Total amount to be raised by taxes for support of municipal budget went from $41,675,395.12 to $41,788,523.13. So therefore, total general revenues went from $61,606,539.07 to $61,719,667.08. In regards to appropriations, under total general appropriations, the general appropriations, the summary of appropriations, total general appropriations for municipal purposes within caps went from $41,977,498.32 to $42,256,005.25. Operations excluded from caps, other operations, went from $5,456,630.77 to $5,284,582.77. Total operations excluded from caps went from $6,701,746.56 to $6,529,698.56. Capital improvements went from $900,000 to $1,610,000 even. Municipal debt service went from $9,093,165.50 to $8,383,165.50. Reserve for uncollected taxes went from $2,934,128.69 to $2,940,797.77. Total general appropriations went from $61,606,539.07 to $61,719,667.08. In regards to the dedicated pool utility budget, senior programs went from $31,229.64 to zero. Sports clinic went from zero to $31,229.64. The capital budget went for improvement to wells went from $8 million even to $2.6 million even. Be it further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution to be uploaded to the FAST system for the Director of the DLGS, that's the Director of Local Government Services, for her certification of the 2024 local municipal budget, so amended.
Thank you, Karen. I offer the foregoing resolution, the 2024 budget as amended, and move it for adoption.
I second the motion.
Before we do a roll call, anyone have any comments on the budget? Gaten, any comments? You're good? Okay. Michael?
We gonna talk now? We gonna wait 2 weeks when we vote again?
Yeah, I think we do it here.
No, I thought we do it in 2 weeks. Second reading? I guess not.
No, this is the second reading.
Okay.
You have a budget, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, this is the second reading. I have some comments.
Okay, great. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks. I just want to congratulate Barry and his staff for this amazing budget, but who I really want to congratulate is Ann Cucci, our CFO. And the last couple of years that you've been here, you've done such an amazing job in keeping our budget as flat as possible. Look at everything that we do in this town with just about 18.3% of a homeowner's taxes. You know what? A lot of our homeowners, they don't see the school, they don't see the county. What they see is the police, the fire, the public works, the street cleaning. That's what they say, and that's what we're here for. And that's the only thing that we're here for is that 18.3%. And you keep it so flat, it's amazing. And what many people don't realize is that before the town is able to keep 1 cent of a person's property taxes, the Township of Livingston has to pay the school board and the county 100% of what it's due. So you know what? They get paid before we even see 1 dime. And we're just, Barry, again, all your employees, all the town workers, congratulations on such an amazing budget this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Ed?
Yes, I'll just follow up. So first of all, Barry, thank you very much for everything you do. And Ann, kudos to you and to your whole department. You've done a great job the last few years, and we certainly appreciate that. Just to follow up what Councilman Vieira said about the dollars, it also should go noted, was on one of the bullet points of Barry's presentation about the reserve for uncollected taxes for that. So when people don't pay us our taxes, we still have to pay out the Board of Education and the county all their dollars. And the one thing that Barry didn't put in, we talked about it, is for tax rebates. We don't have a chance. We pay back full 100% of the tax rebates without having the chance to claw back from the Board of Education, and we claw back, I think, 5 cents of every dollar from the county. So there's a lot of money that goes on here that we don't have a chance to really to use, even though we collect it all, as Councilman Vieira said. So it is amazing how our budget, how much we stretch our budget with 18.3 cents of every dollar that comes in, into paying all the professionals in this building and all the other buildings as well, who deserve a lot of applause and kudos for everything that they do for this town as well. So I think it's a great budget, and I compliment both of you and all your staff as well for putting this together.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Can I just
Yeah, sure.
add one
Gaten,
more?
of course.
Absolutely second Deputy Mayor and Councilman Vieira's comments. I just want to highlight one other thing that we all saw today. 2 things, actually. We are the second on the list, meaning only one other town has higher rates than us. I think that's something to be lower. I mean, lower is. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't want to be second from the highest.
Better than us.
We'll go for highest next year.
Apologies. Lower than us. And the other part, which is really to take home, is we had the services we just talked about at the beginning of the meeting. How much the services we have on senior center, on all of the community services, all of that really gets through from all the services, from the budget that we have. So again, kudos to you and to Barry and the entire staff, and great job.
Thank you, Caden. Yeah, Barry, Ann, awesome job. Adam, Russ, everyone involved in the budget. The department heads for being reasonable, flexible, helping you sharpen your pencils. I know it's a collaborative effort, but a lot of kudos to you, Ann, and Barry and Adam and Russ. I'm amazed. I'm glad you got applause as you were reading this tonight, Barry. There's one page here where this budget, it maintains the current levels of service and staffing levels. When everything goes up and everything gets crazy, we've left levels of service as good or better. That's so important. You've allowed for budgets for union contracts, for increased pensions, insurance, capital improvements, the DPW garage, excellent, a long-awaited project. Thanks so much for all your hard work and getting it in the budget. And to do all that with, what is it, $7.13 extra a month. Like, I know one year you said it was like a cup of Starbucks, which Starbucks may be up to $7.13 for a cup of coffee a month. So just, that's amazing. And also, I just wanted to say, yeah, Kate, we're the second lowest. Thank you for pointing that out. Michael, thank you for your comments. Ed, thank you for your comments. The other one was, with the increased fund balance and debt refinancing have resulted in the township's bond rating being raised from AA plus with positive outlook, one step away from AAA. I mean, that's just amazing. And the balance has gone, Barry, when you started, what was it, about $1 million?
When I started, it was
About
$1 million 10 years ago.
Oh, put your mic on. This is good stuff. Put your mic on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I said I think at the end of 17 when I got here was 3 point something.
Okay.
And we've brought it up, and I went back just 10 years to take a look at 10 years. It was only 1.1 million 10 years ago, which is
And now it's
kind of scary to think you were operating on that much surplus. But yeah, now it's 11.6, I think.
11,614.
Yeah.
$11,614,118, which is the highest fund balance in the last 16 years.
At least six,
least.
probably ever, but
Maybe ever.
I got sick of looking. I kept going
Right,
back.
right.
It wasn't anywhere
Just
close. So.
tremendous job. I mean, if this was our State of the Union address, the state of Livingston is strong, right? I mean, it's tremendous, and all thanks to your hard work, and thanks to the council, just approving budget after budget, and also, doing some work up here, decisions, what to leave in, what to leave out. I think that's a rock and roll song, deadlines and commitments, what to leave in, what to leave out. Great song. But anyway, thank you so much. So we are up to, did we all vote yes, or we're just commenting?
Mayor, you need a roll call.
Okay, great. Carolyn?
Councilmember Batani?
Yes.
Viera?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Meinhardt?
Proudly vote yes.
Mayor Anthony?
Yes. The 2024 amended budget is adopted. So thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, we are, and. Fantastic. All right. We are now up to public comment on agenda items only.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to open the public portion of on agenda items only.
Thank you, Michael.
Second it.
Great. Any opposed? No? Okay. Hi, Justin.
Hi, Mr. Mayor. Justin Alpert, 56 Amherst Place. A few quick items. Essex County updates, another meeting where Essex County representative doesn't show up to read from the website. We ought to reverse the lines of control. Council ought to send their own envoy to the Essex County meetings, along with the other Western Essex communities. Reverse the lines of control. Take control of the county. We are not subjects to the county. The county should be controlled by the several localities. Ordinance 2224, amending regulating U-turns. I think when we last talked, Madonna and Foxcroft, those lend themselves to U-turns, and perhaps we can change that ordinance so it's only during school hours or busy hours or something. But the way those two are set up, they're really, there are times where it just makes sense to make a U-turn, and I'm not sure that this ordinance makes sense with respect to those two streets. I guess there's final hearings on that. So there's another hearing on the salary ordinance, so I'll table that. The introduced ordinances 2424 for a long-term tax exemption authorizing 45 urban partners. I have an article here from November from Ms. Santola, who's not here anymore, but it showed that we had agreed to 210 units, and I thought we lopped off the fifth story, and yet this ordinance shows 226 units and 5 stories. So welcome opportunity to bring the developer up here to give us exact numbers of what's going on there and explain how this went up from 210 to 26 and how we're back at 5. And certainly appreciate your leadership, Mr. Mayor, because at your inauguration this year, you said that you were going to, be very wary of these long-term tax exemptions, and there's good reason to do so. We also have elements of leverage that we can use. If we're going to use it, there are elements of leverage that we can use to reclaim the real property over the course of time, so it's not held in perpetuity or it's not transferred in perpetuity to an outside entity. We can also regulate the rates of return. With respect to ordinance, no, I really have nothing to say about car washes. I take that back. For the consent agenda, with respect to 24-200, also involving 45 partners, this also references 226 units and 5 stories. Please, Mr. Mayor, would you pull this from the consent agenda so that we can have a discussion about what's actually going on there?
Justin, was that 200 you were saying?
That's 24-200.
Yes.
And actually, it's just for introduction, so you're not having a separate hearing, right? Oh, that's...
It's resolution.
Yeah.
U-turns is separate, salary ordinance is separate. Okay, introduction. So we'll discuss that over the course of time with respect to the pilots. But please pull 24-200 so we know exactly what the metrics are there. And let's take a very, very hard look at a tax exemption. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Great. Thank you, Justin. Anyone else on agenda items?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to close the public portion on agenda items only.
Second.
What's that? Yeah, Justin, I agree with you on that, on the long-term tax exemption. We received a packet late last week. It's got about 72 to 80 pages. It has 12 different articles in it. It has exhibits A through F. And I believe I have another council member who needs more time to review that, even to introduce it. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's a long long document and a lot of numbers. I think it needs more time to review it.
Can we make that document public?
Barry, is that a public document? The application's in the packet.
If
not
it's
in the
being
packet,
voted on,
Justin?
if
You
it's
can
being
check
voted
on
on,
it. You
it's
can count the
public.
pages for me. It's well over 70 and exhibits with 12 different articles, which we received late last week in August. So,
Yeah, I think
so
about
I'm not, I think it would be irresponsible even to introduce that with the opportunity not to vote on it a second time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so any other comments on public agenda items? Okay. All right, we're now up to, oh, did we close that? Okay, thanks. All right. Passage of ordinances, Carolyn, oh, and I believe we're pulling 23, 24. Caton, you had asked for some information on that. Do you want to speak on that?
That's correct, Mayor. I asked for benchmarks, I asked for comparisons, I asked for the clear differences of not just max and main limits, but from where to where. So it's more transparency. I asked for those numbers. I think we don't have those, so it's better to.
Mayor, given that the public hearing was scheduled for tonight, I suggest a motion to table and reschedule the public hearing.
Okay,
So those have to be republished and reintroduced.
great. Exactly what you just said. Do I have,
I don't know if, I don't know how the vote's gonna go, but you certainly can entertain it.
it's say it again,
A
Council?
motion to table
Table.
ordinance 23-2024.
I have a motion to table ordinance 23, 2024, salary ordinance.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, okay.
Any discussion?
Okay.
They need a roll call, Mayor.
Roll call.
Councilmember Bottani?
Yes.
Vieira?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinhardt?
Yes.
Mayor Anthony?
Yes.
Well, the public hearing will be,
Well, we're tabling it, so I guess we'll go to the next meeting, September 9th.
September 9th.
Until-
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to go then, do you think that'll give you enough time to get the information?
As long as I have it.
Council Bottani has the
Do
information.
you want to go to the 23rd then? Would that be better?
Is there a time crunch on that?
so
I'm okay with that.
Thank you.
Okay, it's
Okay,
tabled to September 9th.
there'll be no
September 9th,
further
and we'll
notice of this
see if
public
we
hearing.
need
This
it.
is your notice. If you're here tonight for this public hearing, it's been adjourned to September 9th.
Okay. Great. Thanks. Do you have something? Okay. count, let's see, 18-2024?
Ordinance 18-2024, amending Chapter 170, Article 19, Stormwater Control of the Township Land Use Code.
Okay. Is there
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Thank
Second.
you, Michael. Second. Any opposed? No? Any, anyone commenting on it?
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
Okay. Roll call.
Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt. Second.
Second.
Great, thank you.
Councilmember Baptani?
Yes.
Viera?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Meinhardt?
Yes.
Mayor Anthony?
Yes.
This is ordinance 19-2024, appropriation of $2.75 million for improvements of water utility system.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Seeing none?
Motion to close?
Second.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Councilmember Baptani?
Yes.
Viera?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Meinhardt?
Yes.
Mayor Anthony?
Yes.
Ordinance 20-2024, appropriation of $4 million for improvements to sewer utility system.
Motion to open the public hearing?
Second.
Motion to close public hearing?
Second.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
I can't write fast enough. Councilmember Baptani?
They're quick.
Yes.
Viera?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Meinhardt?
Yes.
Mayor Anthony?
Yes.
Ordinance 21-2024, appropriation of $6,445,000 for various improvements.
Motion to open the public hearing?
Second. I'm giving them a couple seconds. I'll second.
Motion to close?
Second.
Motion to move?
Second.
The quickest draw in
Councilmember
Livingston.
Baptani?
Yes.
Viera?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Meinhardt?
Yes.
Mayor Anthony?
Yes.
Ordinance 22-2024, amending Chapter 29, regulating U-turns on certain streets, Long Acre Drive.
Motion to open public comments?
Second.
Oh, got a comment.
Hi, Mr. Mayor. Justin Alpert, 56 Amherst Place. You know, oftentimes Madonna and Foxcroft, they are desolate when school is out and whatnot, or you're dropping off for one thing or another. Foxcroft has that turnaround where you make the right to go up the hill to the school board, and it is a good place to turn around rather than driving around the block. Madonna, also, you're dropping off at the gym, and to continue to go straight, you have to make a few lefts and a few rights, and sometimes it just makes sense to turn around. And I'm not sure how we got to this point with these two streets, but perhaps there ought to be some sort of time limitation. And when you're there on off hours, there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to turn around there. We're still a small town. Those two streets makes a lot of sense to turn around. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Alpert. I think I'll insert one comment here. First of all, this 2024, this ordinance only talks about Longacre. It is introducing Longacre and Longacre only. Other streets have already been in the adopted state for no U-turns or regulating U-turns. The comment I have is this is really the partnership with our residents. People who live nearby have real concerns. We had a township council plus school board of education plus the residents, a committee formed, police study happened, township special services came in. It was a thought-through decision. It was a thought-through process. A very important one because, again, people who are directly impacted are involved in this process. So I think, Mayor, I would be wholeheartedly supporting this.
That you'll be supporting? Yes. And you noted that the addition is Longacre, and there was a committee on that. And Barry, thank you for making the police officers available.
Mayor, should we close the public hearing before we make comments?
Yeah, and I would just, to echo, I think, Councilman, this ordinance was motivated and solely directed to Longacre. It is in a section that lists those two streets. I think Mr. Alpert raised a point. I wouldn't use that point in any way to hold up doing this one. but I can certainly have the traffic division look at the streets that he mentioned, see if they could be, I understand what he means, because if you're going that way on Madonna, you're going all the way out. But I would say, don't let that hold up this to get Longacre's problem solved, but certainly we can look into that, sure.
Yeah, and thank you for adding that, Barry. I think one of the opportunities we're gonna get to is our Vision Zero policy, the action plan, the complete street. These are the exact areas of focus and conversations where if there are concerns, should be talked about and should be addressed if there are, solutions possible. It's exactly where we come, and I hear all the time, streets needs to, hey, a crosswalk is required, or, a light is required in a certain road. All of those conversations, that includes county, that includes our services, township, all of that. And I think those are the opportunities. This only belongs to Longacre. Thank you.
Mayor, motion to close the public hearing.
Is there a second? Dayton?
Second.
All right. Any opposed? No? Roll call.
Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Councilmember Battani?
Yes.
Viera?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Meinhardt?
Yes.
Mayor Anthony?
Yes.
This is ordinance 23-2024, the salary ordinance, which is now
was tabled.
to September 9th, 2024. You want me to go
Thank you,
ahead with the introduction of
For,
ordinance 25-2024?
25.
Ordinance 25-2024, amending Chapter 170-3 and adding Chapter 170-88D, conditional uses car washes.
Like to move it on first reading?
I'll second it.
Nope.
Councilmember Battani?
Yes.
Viera?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Meinhardt?
Yes.
Mayor Anthony?
Yes.
And this will have a final hearing, public hearing on September 23rd, 2024.
Great. All right. So we didn't put that the 9th, we put that the 23rd? Is that gonna, okay, great. All right, consent agenda for resolutions. All matters listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the governing body so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda as part of the general orders. Is there anyone who wants anyone removed? Well, we're removing 24-200. On the remaining three, does anyone want those pulled for separate comment? No? Okay. So Carolyn, you want to read those three together?
Resolution, well, there's the consent agenda, and then there's Resolution 24-198, appointment of Stephen Horn to Zoning Board, and Resolution 24-199, authorizing 2024 age-friendly grant application.
And Division 0.
Well, the last one you're pulling off the consent.
No, we're pulling the 20, yeah.
Thank you. 24-200, designating 45 partners urban.
No,
Madam Clerk,
no,
is
no.
the next
That's
one.
pulled.
I'm
one-
sorry.
Madam Clerk?
I have the wrong
Here you
old
go.
agenda. Resolution 24-201, Vision Zero grant application for safe streets and roads. I got you.
Great.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve the three?
Second.
Any opposed?
Councilman-
No? Oh, roll call.
Councilmember Battani?
Yes.
Viera?
Yes.
Klein? Sorry, he's absent. Deputy Mayor Meinhardt, I'm rattled.
Yes.
Mayor Anthony?
Yes.
Okay, so the resolution that you pulled is 24-200.
Move to open the meeting to public portion on
Wait.
any subject.
Was pulled from the agenda, that resolution?
What's that?
It was pulled from the agenda, or was it pulled from the consent agenda?
Was it
The
pulled,
resolution?
for discussion and,
Separate
or-
vote, or is it pulled from the agenda?
The resolution's on the
Just pull from
redevelopment
the consent
agreement.
agenda.
Yeah.
Are you going to move it, or are you going to?
Yeah, I don't know if you wanted comment or you want me to, so that resolution is to approve the redevelopment agreement. Again, it's for the same project, but is unrelated to the financial application. It's a redevelopment agreement. We have development agreement on virtually every project. If there's, I didn't know if you were going to vote on that tonight or if you want to pair that up with the other one, either way.
Yeah, I think I said pair it up with the other one. So,
So you
You
pulled
wanna
it off
pull-
the agenda, not just off the consent agenda?
yeah.
Oh, because that's where his confusion was. Okay.
Thank you, Counselor. Ed, you want to open up the public? Okay.
I'll second it. I'll second it.
Thank you, Justin.
Hi, Mr. Mayor. Justin Alpert, 56 Amherst Place. 3 items. 1, the development on Volker. That looks like it has stopped. That was a bad development to start with. If it's not moving forward, let's go after the completion bond. Let's condemn the property. Let's restore the property to a park area or something. It did not make sense to build high-density housing back there. It still does not make sense. It looks like it does not make sense to the developers now either. It looks like the Volker property development does not make sense to developers now either. Let's move to condemn it. 2, in the closed session earlier today, you all discussed the mall property. Please let us know what is going on. Where is it? Where are our points of leverage? What are we doing going forward? Against whom are we negotiating? Where's the money coming from? What's going to happen there? Will we avoid the same mistakes that we made with Town Center? Are there creative things that we could do there to set the standard for other communities to follow? Welcome that conversation. Please let us know. 3, with respect to 45 South Livingston Avenue, the numbers are wrong in the ordinances that you pulled. So please, the developer was actually here and he walked out. He chose not to say anything. There was a huge outcry last year. We all remember it, a lot of people, a lot of angry people, and to see the numbers come back like this, perhaps it was a mistake, but it does not seem right. And when it comes to that pilot, we have to be very, very wary. There are points of leverage that we have. If they really want the pilot, we want to make sure that we have a right of first refusal to grab the real property back so that the post-capitalization value of rental units doesn't flow to outside entities, but is actually appreciated by the people who actually live in apartments that are affordable. 2, the Justice Department just moved against the big landlords for using software. This was last week. I don't have it in front of me. For using software that was violated antitrust principles. When we talk about market rate apartments, we're not talking about market rates. We're talking about rigged rates. And we ought to be doing an assessment of all of our landlords in our community and find out if they were using that software. And the concentration of real wealth in the rental market is a fundamental mistake. And it's a mistake that we have been making for years at this point. And it's an opportunity for Livingston to take a leadership position. We need better control over our tax policy. The flat rate taxes don't work, and we could discuss that at length another time. And we also need better control over our banking policy, defensive banking and offensive banking. Thank you for your time, Mr. Mayor.
Anything else, Justin? I apologize for talking.
Sure.
It was only 15 seconds.
The budget, we have professionals who are running the budget, and they put together a good budget. In future years, we want to take a look at some of those outside budget items, including the county. How much are we spending, and how much are we getting back? What percentage of the county jobs do we have? Do we have our pro rata portion coming back to us? Same thing on the schools side. It's our biggest budget item. If we're going to have community schools, we want the community in the schools. How many of those jobs above and below the line belong to people outside the community and belong to people inside the community? This council
Mayor,
can
15 seconds, I think, has passed. Thank you.
Wow, thank you for your time, Mr. Deputy Mayor.
Motion to close public comment?
Second. If I, since it's closer, just for the record, the project on Passaic Avenue was not something, if you remember, since you have a great memory on a lot of other stuff, we sat in Zoom for, I'm going to probably say about 3 months worth of meetings. None of us really wanted this project either. 9 months? 8 or 9 months. Okay, and none of us want to, it was one of these projects that was thrown down our throats by what happened with the fair share housing. And so, excuse me, your part of the meeting is over to speak. And the other part about it is that when you're talking about fair share housing, and I've said it many times, we have an assemblywoman right now in Livingston who votes on fair share housing. Those questions that you're talking about should talk to her about it, not us. We don't have.
Mr. Alper, you're out of order, please. Let Deputy Mayor speak.
I have passed on all your emails that you've asked me to pass it to her. But I believe, excuse me. So I also believe that since you have everybody else's email address in the state of New Jersey, I'm surprised that you're not addressing the emails to her directly itself and copying us.
Because you were responsible for this.
We are not
Mr. Alper, out of
responsible.
order.
We are doing.
Mayor, I have a question, and maybe Barry can help us. You know what? We need to educate our community on what pilots are. We have to do some sort of presentation because a lot of people in this town have believed the people who said pilots are bad. Okay, the only thing bad about a pilot is the name of a pilot, payment in lieu of taxes. You know, if you look at today's budget, pilots lower everyday property owners' taxes. And you know what? Pilots are not bad. Pilots are good for a town. It's good for a school system. The Board of Education attorney had said pilots, what did they say, Deputy Mayor, are a grand slam?
Win.
Excuse me?
He said win.
Win. I think there was another meeting where he said it was a grand slam. So you know what, Barry? We need to educate, whether we do some sort of presentation or something, and let the residents know what pilots are. And we don't need to come up with a box and put balls in boxes and everything else, because that confuses people. We just need to set them straight of what pilots are. And we really do a bad job at promoting ourselves. And that's something that we really need to do. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Michael. Anyone else on that? No?
I don't know if you want me to address the issue, but it was raised several times, and there may be people watching who may or may not watch the next meeting as it relates to, on 45 South Livingston and the number of units. So the redevelopment plan, after negotiation, it started at 300 and something, 280, whatever. We eventually, at the last meeting, I think that you referred to, the focus was at that time on the number of market units. And eventually the redevelopment plan brought the number of market rate units down to 195. There was always going to be affordable housing units. It was originally contemplated that there was an opportunity to do special needs housing off-site over in connection with the Spectrum School. However, the plan always did allow that if that couldn't happen, then those units, the affordable units, would be at 45 South Livingston. Unfortunately, that opportunity, in part because Spectrum isn't really in the supportive housing, but also I would say this, the state Division on Developmental Disabilities, when they reviewed the two different locations, they had a strong preference for this location because of its walkability. So the current plan would be to incorporate those, but again, that was always authorized under the redevelopment plan. There was always that number of units. It was a question of which ones were going to be here and were going to some be off-site. But I would say this, when they elected to bring, when that didn't pan out and they had to come back on site, they were still obligated to and will still have to comply with all the same bulk setbacks, step downs, heights, all the other things. So they will have to get creative in their space making. I don't believe there's a fifth story.
Barry, correct me if I'm wrong, but the height hasn't changed.
The height,
correct?
they did not increase the height. They did not increase this. There had been significant concessions in connection with lowering the total number of units and the market rate units, where they stepped back considerably from the rear of the property in recognition of those residents. They're still having to live with that, and they're just having to fit the units in. But
Resolutions now say 5 stories.
I'll review that, and if that carried over, then that would be an error, and I'll make sure that gets corrected.
Thank you, sir.
Up to reports of township officials
I
and
do,
council.
wait, I'm sorry, I do have one more thing. Barry, maybe you can find out about the project on Volker Lane, and maybe you can get a little detail on that, because I know they have stopped working.
It
And
stopped.
it would be interesting to know. I know they've stopped.
you.
I've heard a couple of things myself. I'm
Yeah,
not
no,
going to say here in public
I,
why, but I would be interesting if you could maybe find out for the next meeting.
Yeah, no, well, I can tell you, I mean, I can look into it further, but I do know they ran into an issue with the positioning, the foundation, the developer is still very actively involved. There's a question of whether they would have to return to the planning board for an amendment. It was, I think ultimately they had two ways to go. One was to remove something and redo it, or the other was to go for an amendment. My understanding is they have opted to go to take out what was put in the wrong location and reinstall it, and they should be back actively underway. They've not walked away from the project.
Great. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you, Barry. Okay, so Ann, take a victory lap?
Yes.
Some budget?
I'm like so relieved. Now, thank you so much for approving the budget and being so supportive of us. And Councilman Vieira, thank you for bringing that up about the pilots, because you're absolutely right. And because of a lot of the negotiations and settling things with the hospital, we wouldn't be in this position in fund balance. And hopefully we can explain what it really means to have a pilot, because either you would have zero taxes or you're going to have or you're going to have revenue. It's zero or nothing or revenue. I'm sure Barry will clear that up next time. Thank you.
Nothing at this time.
Well, probably done enough talking for tonight. Just one update for the public. As you're all aware, we are in the midst of our design build process for DPW. I got the email confirmation that all's done. The RFQ will be published tomorrow. We have a timeline now in place that the up to 6 and at minimum of 2 responding firms will be qualified. They will then submit proposals. There's a timeline in place where at the last meeting, the second meeting in October, we will anticipate then having a recommendation from the committee, and that'll involve interviewing all the candidates, of which I think the mayor and Councilman Batani are on that committee. So those interviews will be scheduled if they haven't already, with the goal then we would award the contract at the second meeting in October, and would anticipate at that point the contractor, I think, will be anxious to get in and do some of the site work and stuff before the winter. So we should be certainly underway this year.
Great. Thank you, Barry. Long awaited. Yeah. Russ?
Nothing tonight.
Great. Thanks, Russ. Jared?
Thank you, Mayor. Just one brief report. The township had its fairness hearing on its amended settlement agreement. That fairness hearing was adjourned when the Bottle King sought to intervene and assert itself in the litigation. They never did. We had our fairness hearing on August 8th, 2024. The court deemed our settlement agreement to be fair. Our compliance hearing will be February 5th, 2025, to give us time to implement those changes in the settlement agreement.
Jared, did you say February 5th, 25th?
Sorry, February 5th, 2025. And the idea behind that was there's some ordinances that will need to be passed by this governing body, and we wanted to give time in case those ordinances weren't introduced until next year.
Great. Thank you, Jared. Thanks for all your hard work on that, too.
Thank you, Mayor.
Appreciate it. Carolyn?
Nothing for me tonight, thank you.
All right. Kate?
Sure. Thanks, Mayor. I think I'll start with a couple of shout-outs. One is what we saw this morning, the team from SYLS, we saw Ron Barbilla here as well. There is a whole lot of services in town, DPW, first aid, fire. As we are approaching the Labor Day weekend, we had a tremendous season full of activities at all our facilities, whether it's SYLS indoor rooms for seniors to meet or other events to happen. I remember it was a fantastic day for Israel flag celebration. It was there as well as here. And then, of course, you look at the Oval and everywhere else. All of our services, they just do a tremendous job. I think that is commendable, and I just wanted to recognize them here, and a round of applause for them. Once again, Ann and Barry and the team, great job on the budget and keeping the numbers very reasonably low, given the environment we are in with the prices going up. We are able to manage that, so that's great. And then, as I recall, last few weeks of festivities, there was a ton of celebrations in town. Enjoyed a very good India Fest and India Day Parade, the flag raising. So great work all across. I think that's where I would end, Mayor, but on a high note.
Great. Thank you, Kate. Michael?
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank the New Jersey Department of Transportation. I know the last, it's been a while, and Councilman Klein, myself, Barry, Russ, Jeanette Hardaway, we were actually preparing for a meeting with the State Department of Transportation to talk about putting sidewalks on Route 10. And just as we were starting to prepare our PowerPoint presentation, because it was going to be a Zoom call, Barry received a letter that said that they were actually planning to put sidewalks from this, it's a little bit before the circle, but the circle up to Oakner Parkway, which is great. Not sure about East Side yet. We'll deal with that if we have to, but it's great that the state had listened to us, and thanks, Barry, and everybody who had done work to get the state convinced to do that. The second thing is I do want to also thank the State Department of Transportation, especially Meredith Hammond. I had talked to her a couple times. As everybody knows, my pet project is the Livingston Circle and the cleanliness over there. And for the last couple months, there's been a couple dead trees over there that have fallen. And if you notice and drive by, they've been removed, and it's been cleaned up a little bit more. So I just want to, again, thank the Department of Transportation. Thanks, Mayor. That's all I have for tonight.
Mayor, I apologize. It's March 5th, not February 5th. I apologize.
March 5th. Okay, great. Thank you. Deputy Mayor?
Sure. So since Jared just talked about that, I just wanted to give a shout out. So Jared, the reason why we got to this March, whatever date you just mentioned to us, is because of all the hard work you and your firm did to get us there. You've guided us over the last 18 months in a great direction. And I just want to know how appreciative that we are for the work that you've done and how you've guided this community and this town. So we thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
I also want to just follow up on what Councilman Botani said about all the work that Ron, Jen, all the teams that you just mentioned do. They all do it, and it's all part of our 18.3 cents of every dollar of taxes that we collect. So I think that just goes to a kudos to what you just said and all the other services that we offer as well. For one more time, for 18.3 cents of every dollar collected. So shout out to everybody who works for the town. And finally, I had a really interesting, about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, I think my wife sent me to King's because we didn't have coffee. And at 7:15 in the morning, I was walking out, and there was Nick Santinelli loading up all the food that King's had left over from the night before that they were going to throw out. And he was on his third trip from King's to Newark, New Jersey at 7:30 in the morning to delivering food to those less fortunate. And I'm going to tell you, if that doesn't strike a chord about who Nick is, what Livingston Helping Neighbors does, and the town that we live in, I think there's nothing else better said. So just a real shout out to that. It's something that really stuck in my mind at 7:15 in the morning. So thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Thank you again, Ann, and the budget team. Really appreciated. I said it before. I think if it was the state of the town, Livingston is strong. The state is we're in great shape thanks to all your hard work. Adam, been mentioning a lot with Barry. Thank you so much also for all the calls I've been getting, whether it's storms, problems in town, and you're right on it, and I really appreciate that. Getting back to the residents and honestly trying to help them out. That's important for our position, the town's position, so thank you so much on that. I thank Jen and her team on the age-friendly one more time. That's so nice to hear, and that we're awarded and grants are being, we're just being recertified. All that stuff is fantastic, and I think everyone else, the India flag, you mentioned it, right? Great event, fabulous, and I'm going to wrap it up. I think, which one? The mall property? No, that was something that it would eventually be public,
Yeah,
right?
there will be a public session on our next
Yes.
round obligations once we have a better understanding.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me, but it was Not tonight, it is somewhere out there. Okay, so thank you for everything, and great budget, thanks, appreciate it. We're going back for around the table conference, but we'll be quick.